And I was doing midweek report. I was looking through the news as I always do, give my 2 cents on whatever kind of perks my interest, and I come across this here. It's a quote from Eddie Hearn in an interview he gave with Seconds Out. And I'll read the title. It says, Eddie Hearn on the perception Anthony Joshua is fragile. And that's an interesting one because a lot of people, and myself included at the times, have looked at Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn is talking about his chin. I'll touch on his chin now in a wee bit and what Eddie Hearn says here, but I think Anthony Joshua, maybe now it's different. And I say maybe now it's different because the Dubois fight will really tell us an awful lot about where Anthony Joshua is. And I've been saying that for a while with Anthony Joshua. Even after the Francis Ngannou fight, I said, I like what I'm seeing. I do. I have to say, I like what I'm seeing with Anthony Joshua. I like the way he's coming across in interviews. Because some people are saying, it's fake AJ. He's trying to be the hard man. No, I think that's the AJ who he's always wanted to be. He's always wanted to, say what's on his mind and, speak to Dubois the way he did. I think he's always wanted to do that, but he's always cared about that image. Because I never warmed to the whole stay humble image and stuff like that. I kind of like AJ just being as he is and just being like, yeah, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to smash you, simple as. I like that. I've always said that with AJ, I think it's always been more mental than physical with Anthony Joshua. Just, for me, that's how it looks. But I'll read what Eddie Hearn has said here. So, Eddie Hearn says Anthony Joshua has a really, really good chin. Watch the shots AJ took in there with Vladimir Klitschko. The right hand that would have decapitated a normal man AJ got up from. Even versus Andy Ruiz, he kept getting up. Alexander Usyk hit him with the kitchen sink and never had him out. Look what happened to Tyson Fury. Never saw AJ like that in the fight. AJ's got a great chin. So, Eddie Hearn talking about Anthony Joshua's toughness in a sense of punch resistance. He's not necessarily talking about mental toughness because that's a different kind of thing altogether. But he's talking about Anthony Joshua and he's saying that AJ has a really good chin, a really, really good chin. Now, throughout the years, even before Anthony Joshua fought Vladimir Klitschko, I remember there was a big perception of Anthony Joshua that he was a bit fragile around the whiskers because he was hurt in the Dillian Whyte fight. People brought up the fact that when he was an amateur, I can't remember, I think he was Romanian. I cannot remember his name. But there's footage, well, at least there was, I don't know if I'm sure it still is there actually, of Anthony Joshua getting stopped standing. He wasn't dropped in the fight, but he was stopped in the amateur standing by some little Romanian guy. I think he was Romanian, I can't remember his name. And that led people to say, oh, Anthony Joshua was chinny, this, that, and the other. He went in there with Vladimir Klitschko, and even before going down, he took some shots from Vladimir Klitschko. He went down in round number 6 from a big right hand, was able to get back up, was able to ride the storm, and was able to take Klitschko out in the 11th round. The only other time in his career that he's ever been down, and he's been buzzed in fights like against Povetkin, who was a very, very big puncher, and he was buzzed in the first round in that fight. He was buzzed a couple of times in the first fight against Alexander Usyk, noticeably round number 12, where I think, if there was an extra, say, 20, 30 seconds, there's a very, very good chance that Usyk would have got the stoppage. AJ was very fatigued at that point, you have to take that into consideration. But, by that stage, it just seemed like Usyk, if he stepped on the gas, he could have done something. So, Anthony Joshua's been down in his career, he's been buzzed a few times. He's not been down as much as Tyson Fury because he's talking about Tyson Fury and he's alluding to the fact that in the first fight, the only fight so far with Alexander Usyk, a lot of referees would have stopped that fight. And I think I'm going to say it, if that was Alexander Usyk in the same position, chances are that referee would have jumped in and waved it off. That I'm going to say, that's chances are he probably would have done it, more than likely. So I get what Eddie Hearn is saying here, right? Do I think AJ has a really, really good chin? No. But at the end of the day, it's heavyweight boxing. Does having a really, really good chin really make a blind bit of difference if you're a heavyweight? And I mean that because you look at someone like Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce was, and I think he still does have a pretty good chin. But Joe Joyce has been down in fights. He's been knocked out by Zhilei Zhang. You can have a really, really good chin. At the end of the day, if a hard punching 6'5", 250-pound man hits you and he lands a good shot in your chin, to be honest with you, I don't care how good it is, you're going down. That's just, if they're wearing 10-ounce gloves, you're 250 pounds, 6'5", you land a big right hand or a big left hook on the other guy's chin, they're in all sorts of trouble. They go down, they get badly hurt, they're in trouble. Doesn't matter how good that chin is. All right. The exception maybe being Marius Vac, who's only been down once as a pro. I mean, his chin. I mean, the same right hand that dropped Anthony Joshua in the Vladimir Klitschko fight. I mean, he was taking them for fun. Honestly, I mean, that guy, his chin is something insane. I would suspect that Zhile Zhang has a pretty good chin as well, because I've seen him in person up close, and his head does not look like it looks bigger than your average head. Like, it looks like that skull is made of some thick stuff. I'd say he takes a pretty good shot as well, to be fair. So maybe there's some guys who could take a little bit better shot, but at the end of the day, it's heavyweight boxing. Everyone has touched down, except the likes of Alexander Usyk and Filip Hrgovic. But pretty much everyone has touched down. I've no doubt Joshua will touch down again. He might touch down against Daniel Dubois. Does that mean he's chinny? No, it just means that he's fighting a heavyweight. Do I think he has a, iron chin for heavyweights? No. But do I think he's chinny? No. Do I think, though, that his biggest problem is that when he does get dropped, he does find it hard to recover? Yes. Now, some would say that's even worse than maybe having a bad chin, because you would argue, and if you made the argument, I wouldn't even disagree with you on this. You could make the argument Tyson Fury has a worse chin than Anthony Joshua, and I'd say he probably does, because it's not just the fact that he's been down more times. He's been in there with the likes of Deontay Wilder, very, very big puncher. Deontay Wilder, certainly that version of Wilder, dropped any heavyweight, dropped Joshua, could have dropped anyone, right? So him being dropped by Deontay Wilder, that's one of the biggest punchers. Punching power on a historic scale in his prime, Deontay Wilder. So yeah, getting dropped by him, listen, it would happen to anybody. Marius Vac, Filip Hrgovic, they'd all be dropped by Wilder with his right hand back then. Right? So I don't think too much of that. The likes of Steve Cunningham was never a big puncher. Was never a big puncher even at cruiserweight. The likes of Nevin Pikic, not a big puncher. Francis Ngannou, we don't know how hard he hits as a professional. We don't. It's fair to say we don't know how hard he hits as a professional. It was more a balance shot, to be fair, that dropped Fury that night. But then he gets badly hurt and dropped by Alexander Usyk, a tiny middleweight, according to Tyson Fury. And Eddie Hearn is right. In 2 fights, 24 rounds, Anthony Joshua went with Alexander Usyk. He was never that hurt. Never even close. He was hurt, but he was never on wobbly legs like that. Tyson Fury, I think he has a worse chin. However, now I wouldn't say it's much of a difference. I would say it's worse, but it's not that much worse. Big thing Fury had, and I say had because the Usyk fight was the first time I've ever seen Tyson Fury in that state when he's been buzzed. Tyson Fury always was someone who you could drop. He's been down more times than Anthony Joshua, but his recovery power, like that. It was always something. Tony Bellew was another one. Tony Bellew was like that in certain fights. Against Adonis Stevenson and against Alexander Usyk, he was never recovering. I mean, the Adonis Stevenson fight, I mean, he really could have got hurt in that fight because he was dropped very heavily. He was out of it. And good job the referee stepped in. I think Michael Griffin was the referee that night when he did, because Stevenson would have absolutely took Tony Bellew's head clean off his shoulders if he didn't. And against Usyk, he was taken out. He was never getting up from that. Certain fighters, they can get dropped. And Bellew got dropped loads in his career, especially down at light heavyweight. He was a bit more sturdy at cruiserweight, to be fair. But he got dropped loads at light heavyweight. He always recovered. Same with Tyson Fury when he was a bit fresher. Because against Usyk, I mean, if that's the Tyson Fury, how he gets hurt now, he stays hurt, then he got a problem. But he was always able to get dropped back up. With Joshua, he's not been dropped as much, but when he has been dropped, he's needed round after round after round to recover. And that, to me, is a bit more of a worry. Because if you need round after round to recover, you're not only down a 10-8 round with a knockdown, you're actually giving the opponent the chance to get a little bit clearer, to get a bit of a lead, like Vladimir Klitschko. And then he's going to know, right, if I hurt you, it's not just the case I've got you, I've got time on my side, because you ain't going to be good to go until another round or two, maybe more. Whereas with Fury, he's down, he's back up, all right, stay with it. So, do I think Joshua is fragile? No. Do I think that the perception of him having a weak chin is off? Yes. But do I think that he's 100% sturdy there? No. He definitely can be hurt. He definitely can be. And when he gets hurt, he tends to stay hurt a little bit longer. Do I think, though, what Eddie Hearn... Do I look at what Eddie Hearn is saying here and say it's all true? No. I wouldn't say he's a really good chin, but he did take some very big shots against Klitschko. Same against Ruiz. Same against Usyk. Took them better. Took the shots against Usyk better than Tyson Fury did. I would say when he says Joshua has a great chin, no, average-ish chin. Recovery will be his biggest thing. And I think he knows that. Do you remember in the run up to the Ruiz fight? Was it Navy SEALs he was training with, or something like that, a military kind of thing about recovery and stuff like that? So I think Joshua knows it himself, and yeah, we'll wait and see. The next time he gets hurt, we'll have to see. It could be against Daniel Dubois. He certainly hits hard enough. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this one, a bit of a different one, so to speak. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, you haven't already. It's final push to 20k, lads. Final push. Let's do it. Peace.